General Hospital. Michael's resurrection, Sonny's reckoning, and the final war for Port Charles. There are moments in Port Charles when the air thickens with secrets and blood debts, when the shadows tighten around the Corinthos family name and destiny pulls the trigger on a war years in the making. Now is one of those moments. After months of quiet tension, Michael Corinthos has returned, not as the benevolent, boyish son once torn between two legacies, but as a man forged in fire, betrayal, and loss. The explosion that nearly took his life didn't just scar his body, it redefined his soul. And as Sonny Corinthos walks the thin line between justice and revenge, the ghosts of his empire begin to stir once more. The blast at the penthouse was no random act. It was precision, strategy, vengeance. Sonny was the intended target, but fate twisted the blade differently. It was Michael who lay unconscious in a pool of glass and ash, body broken by the impact meant for his father. Jason Morgan, always a breath away from danger, had just left the hallway seconds before the eruption. The detonation didn't just rock the Corinthos household, it shattered the illusion that Sonny's enemies had gone silent. That incident marked the end of a long-held truce and the beginning of a new, darker chapter. Had it not been for Brick's instinct and rapid response, Sonny himself would have never walked out of that hospital in Los Angeles. But survival isn't peace, and Sonny knows better than anyone that a threat left unchecked always finds its way back to the door. A second attempt on his life was narrowly avoided the same day, making it crystal clear, someone is orchestrating a systematic takedown of the Corinthos crime dynasty. Someone patient, resourceful, and deeply invested in Sonny's fall. While law enforcement investigates, Sonny plays a longer game. He's not relying on police reports or official protection. Instead, he's preparing a trap. A staged weakness, a vulnerability cast like bait into a sea of sharks. He knows the real architect of his near demise won't strike openly, they'll wait for the right moment. And Sonny intends to give them that moment. Not just to strike back, but to unmask the puppet master who's pulling the strings. But Sonny is no longer alone in his fight. Michael's recovery has been swift and silent. Reborn from fire and fury, he now moves through Port Charles with a tempered resolve. The scars on his back are reminders of what's at stake. He no longer plays the role of peacekeeper or divided heir. The trauma has rewritten his priorities. And instead of drawing him away from Sonny, it's drawn him closer, to the truth, to the business, to the blood oath that comes with bearing the Corinthos name. There's speculation in back alleys and whispered in penthouse lounges that Jen Sidwell may be the ghost haunting Sonny's trail, an old rival whose motives have long been obscured by corporate diversions and forgotten vendettas. But Sonny suspects the threat runs deeper, far beyond Sidwell's greed or ego. The coordination, the precision, it's the work of someone intimately familiar with the rhythms of Sonny's world. Someone with a long memory and nothing left to lose. That's why Michael's role in the coming confrontation is crucial. He's not just a survivor, he's a symbol. A son nearly sacrificed. A legacy reborn. And if Sunny wants to end this war once and for all, he needs Michael at his side, not as a pawn, but as a partner. Together with Jason, the trio may finally have the edge needed to dismantle the faceless enemy inching closer to home. This union isn't just about revenge, it's about reclamation. Sunny's final move isn't about saving himself, it's about securing the future for those he loves. Carly, Donna, Avery, and now Michael, they're the foundation he's trying to preserve amid collapsing empires. But peace has a price. And if he has to sacrifice what's left of his humanity to protect them, he will. As Port Charles braces for impact, the chessboard is set. Sunny's trap looms. The identity of the shadow figure behind the attacks inches closer to exposure. Whether it's Sidwell or someone far more treacherous, they've underestimated the resolve of a wounded son and a cornered father. Michael's transformation is a revelation, one that will upend alliances and set fire to old feuds. His return isn't just personal, it's strategic. The sweet-faced idealist is gone. In his place stands a man who stared death in the eye and walked back into the war zone with purpose. And while Sunny may be the one pulling the strings in this final act, it's Michael who may deliver the finishing blow. The Corinthos legacy, once threatened by division and grief, now finds itself sharper, colder, more focused than ever. With Jason's loyalty, Brick's intelligence, and Michael's rebirth, Sunny has rebuilt his inner circle with warriors forged in the crucible of betrayal. The streets of Port Charles are whispering. A reckoning is coming. And when it does, blood will answer blood, power will answer power, and the name Corinthos will either stand unbroken, or be buried with honor. Stay tuned. The endgame has only just begun.